Austin, we need to film a video. You in here?
Hey, Cole.
Huh?
Cole.
Austin, is that you? Austin?
You want to replace a battery on an iPod photo?
Austin, how'd you get in there?
It's the same method for the monochrome, too.
Well, okay. How do I get over there?
Come on.
Okay.
How'd you fit through there, Cole?
I don't know, actually.
It's pretty incredible.
Yeah.
All right, let's go!
Here's how I replace a battery on a 4th gen mono and photo. First of all, get comfortable. Get refreshed. We've got our iPod here. This one I'm refurbing for my buddy Cole.
My wife.
Yep. I'd recommend using a thin metal opening tool like this or an iFixit Jimmy. You can absolutely get away with using these blue plastic tools if you have a handful of them, but they might not get you very far. I wouldn't recommend using any sort of knife that you can find around the house for obvious safety reasons. And some double-side adhesive, and then of course our battery. Now we sell all of this equipment on the store, so they're in tools here. We've got our opening tool for $2.99. These are actually sent out free with any parts order. So if you order this battery, for example, you will be receiving a free opening tool. It's just on the house. And then the double-sided adhesive starts at $3.19. Of course, a computer is optional. We're gonna be using a computer to sync and restore this just to complete the full process. And this is how I refurbish and replace batteries on 4th gens. Before we get into this, I want to touch on power. With these 4th gen classics, monochrome and photo, these were designed to be used with FireWire for charging and syncing. USB is fully supported. However, I'd highly recommend using FireWire to charge these iPods when possible, if possible. So USB power delivers power to the battery, and the battery supplies power to the components. FireWire delivers power directly to the components and then charges the battery with the excess power. There is a scenario which is fairly common where the battery is completely dead. You're gonna see the little low battery icon on the screen. That means the iPod is waiting for the battery to be charged enough to start the boot process. And with an old battery or a very dead battery, sometimes that boot process will drain the battery completely and it sort of loops. We use FireWire to test these iPods because they will boot right up, even if there's no battery installed. All right, so we need to open the iPod. You can use either side, doesn't matter. We're gonna use this side today. You're gonna find the gap between the faceplate and the backplate. Doesn't really matter where you start on these models, but once you find that gap, you need to sort of rotate into the backplate and then push down all the way inside the iPod to release the clips. It may require some force, and once you do, you're gonna pull up just a little bit, and then I'm gonna repeat this process down at the bottom and pull up. Once you've got this backplate open, or like this, I sort of use my hands to jiggle it loose. We're gonna set the iPod face down. We're gonna lift this backplate up. I'm moving it slightly to my left. This is our headphone jack flex cable connector. Do not use metal tools. I'd recommend using a plastic tool, or your fingers also work. You wanna pull this straight up, don't wiggle it. For now, we're gonna set this backplate assembly aside. So here's our iPod. We've got our hard drive right here, and this is our battery connection. So we're gonna lift up this hard drive, keep it upright. Again, please do not use metal tools to open this. You will inevitably end up breaking something. Maybe not your first time, but I'd recommend using your fingernails or a plastic tool. In my case, I'm gonna use my fingernails. I'm gonna get my fingernails underneath this little ridge on the battery, and you pull straight up. It will take some force to release. There you go. Apple originally threads the battery cable underneath the logic board, and some guides suggest that you do that. I see no reason to, so I'm just gonna take this battery flex. We're gonna thread it through the little gap right there, just sort of tug on it, it'll be fine. Underneath the battery and just pry up. It'll pop right out. And we're gonna set it aside for now. So this here is the click wheel flex cable. It may come up with the battery. Usually it doesn't, but if it does, you just have to press it back down. It's a simple connection. Now we're gonna get our replacement battery. In my case, we've got a 1200 milliamp hour lithium ion cell, and I'm going to apply a small strip of double-side adhesive onto the back of it. To be honest with you guys, you really don't need this double-side adhesive. As you can see pretty clearly, we still have some residual adhesive left from the old battery on this click wheel bracket. So you really don't need additional adhesive, but in my case, we're doing this by the book, so that's how we do it here. Now we're gonna keep this double-sided adhesive with one side still covered by the seal. So you're gonna see this connector has two sides. One side you can see some exposed wiring with 3 little pins, and the other side is going to be more or less flat with a single little dot on it. So the flat side with the single little dot. So the battery is going to go in like this with the flat side facing up, and you're simply going to line it up, make sure it's totally straight up and down, and press in. You'll feel it click, and we're good. For now, I'm just gonna let the battery set in its little cutouts, and we're going to put the hard drive down with the battery flex cable right on top. So these models of iPod without a headphone jack flex assembly plugged in automatically default to the lock switch being on. So we won't be able to input anything into the click wheel without this headphone jack flex being inserted. Line this up and just press straight down. Feel it click, hear it click, cool. So don't close it quite yet, we're not done. We're gonna give this thing a full device test, so I'm gonna enter diagnostic mode by pressing previous track in center. Upon a cold boot, you only need to do it for a few seconds. As you can see, we're in diagnostic mode now. I'm gonna go down to I/O, hard drive, and smart data. Now this is a pretty rudimentary hard drive health testing tool. So in our case, this hard drive is in excellent health. We only have 1 retract, which is not super relevant to what we're doing, and it's not a very important metric, but importantly, 0 reallocated sectors and 0 pending sectors, which means this hard drive is in excellent health, 0 bad sectors, more or less, with 135 power hours, which is excellent. They're rated for about 40,000. So I'm gonna get out of this menu and we're gonna restart, see if the iPod boots. As you can see, the iPod has booted. We're at the language selection screen, so it's likely this may have been recently restored. Yep, 0 songs, full capacity available, and we've got our personalized model number. So what I need to do right now is put some music on this iPod. We're also gonna test the USB connectivity feature. If you've already got a music library put onto the iPod, of course, there's no need to put music on it. But in our case, we need to put my testing library on this iPod. iPod sync is complete. Eject before disconnecting. We're gonna go ahead and follow that advice. Hit the eject button. You should see the iPod go back to the home screen. Cool. Really quickly, I'm just gonna give this thing a full device test. We need to test the button inputs. So next track, previous track, play, pause, center, menu. The hold switch up here, locked, works perfectly. And I'm gonna test out the headphone jack. Make sure it plays music all right. Cool. Always give it a little twist, make sure it doesn't cut out, but this is golden, I'd say. So yeah, it passed. We are ready to start closing this thing up. So I'm gonna lift up this back plate, slide it over to my left, and grab this connector, lift directly up, just like before. Comes right off. So we need to prepare our back plate. When we opened the iPod, part of the process of opening this involved warping this metal just a little bit. So I'm gonna put this in the palm of my hand right here and just give it a little squeeze. You can feel it give just a bit. It is stainless steel, so you might have to press a little hard. We're trying to bend it back to its original shape so it can fit seamlessly along the edge of the iPod as if no one has been in there. If it's a beat up iPod that's clearly been through a lot or you've used it quite frequently, you may take this time to tighten the headphone jack screws. You've got 2 right here, and that will move the headphone jack up just a little bit. So if you are experiencing some interference, twisting the headphones, or if they slide out pretty easily, this may very well help. In our case, this thing is more or less, still brand new. So no need to do that. We're gonna set that aside for now. All I'm gonna do, lift up this hard drive, pull the battery out. And what we're gonna do is peel off one side of the double-sided adhesive so that battery is not wiggling around in there. It's a pretty small little window that you have to get underneath this peel. And we just peel up. There is our double-sided adhesive, and I'm simply going to seat it in the little slots. Press down just a bit, and it's not going anywhere. Excellent. So I'm gonna lay this hard drive back down, fold the cable over like that. Again, no reason to take the logic board out, and I'm going to line up my headphone jack flex cable and just press straight down, hear it click, feel it click. We're gonna line up this back plate so it's straight on and give it a little squeeze. It does require some force to clip in. As you can see, it's pretty much seamless. Release the hold switch, should still be booting, and just to make sure I didn't screw anything up, we're gonna give it a hard restart. As far as what to do with your old battery, recycle it. Be responsible. If you don't feel comfortable keeping it, there are many resources available to you to recycle it. So yeah, we're all good. I mean, that's how we replace batteries on the Monochrome and Photo 4th Gen Classics. Gotta get this back to Cole. You ready?
Austin, stop!
It's right here, man.
My wife.